Hey folks, I want to talk to you about something that's been a little bit of a theme this week, and it's pretty disgusting, so I have some thoughts. Well, today, Orangina, Pervolicious, Felonious, Schlumper, McPhee gave a press conference. That wasn't really a press conference because he didn't answer any questions, but he did stand up there in front of his lawyers and trash them and complain about everything, standard fare. But what was interesting was that he was pretty pissed off about a couple of women who testified against him, and he walked through the play-by-play of one of those women's allegations against him. Yeah, apparently Pervolicious got on an airplane, sat next to a woman, and before long, boom, he had grabbed her and he was groping her, and it was just about as disgusting as you can imagine. Well, in the way that only Orangina and the minions who aspired to be him could do, he actually tried to paint this as a situation in which this woman would not be worthy of his pervoliciousness. He's done this before. He loves this little technique, trying to make it seem like that woman was not at all attractive enough for him to want to assault her. Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? He said she wouldn't have been the chosen one. Believe me, she wouldn't have been the chosen one. Yeah, as he's denying the allegations, he's basically saying, yeah, I've done that all the time, but I wouldn't do it to her because she's not attractive enough. Depraved, absolutely depraved. Well, interestingly enough, a really lovely misogynist didn't like my video about Project 2025 this week. And in fact, I'm pretty sure he made a video about me before and I gave a response. So I think, he's got a little bit of a vendetta going for me. But he dropped in and gave me a mansplain and, it was pretty much standard fare mansplain. But at the end, he finished with a flourish of Trump wouldn't grab me by the, meaning I'm not his type. I'm not attractive enough. Think about these comments, folks. These men are basically saying you would be lucky to be assaulted by this man. You would be lucky to have this man violate you. You would be lucky for your body to be chosen for its body parts that could potentially satisfy this man. If that isn't more proof that the former president and the nominee for the Republican Party is absolutely, unequivocally, wholeheartedly, routinely a sexual assaulter, then I don't know what is. And frankly, you know what? I gotta say, again, Republican women, I don't understand how you're still hanging in there. I sincerely don't. Do you have children? Do you have sisters? Do you have mothers? Even if you don't have enough respect for yourself, there's got to be someone in your life who you wouldn't want that man to be talking about like that man is talking about the women that he's talking about. Now, I understand there are a lot of women with a lot of self-loathing, and frankly, they come by it by a lot of men with a lot of self-loathing. And so I don't always blame women when they have such low opinions of themselves. But I also would imagine that those women have got other women in their lives who they might have more compassion for. And so that sort of universal, none of us deserve compassion, we're all just here to be tools for these awful men who want to take advantage of us. It's just a really scary thought that they can stick to that so wholeheartedly. Well, interestingly enough, I made a video response to the misogynist who basically implied that I wasn't attractive enough to be assaulted by Trump. And it's still on TikTok. I took it down on the other platforms because it's just ugly, and he's just ugly, and I just don't really want it around very much. But a woman left a comment after that video saying that that man who I was talking about in the video was engaged to somebody who is beautiful inside and out. And for some reason, that really bothered me. Because I would assume that that woman is thrilled to be engaged to somebody. I mean, everybody's thrilled when they're engaged, right? You think you're madly in love, you found your person, you're going to live the rest of your life, and it's all going to be blissful. But I firmly believe that a man who can say to a complete stranger online, you're not attractive enough to be assaulted by the perverse Republican candidate, is not a man who is going to be able to consistently be good to a woman. Because I don't think women trigger that shit. I think it's either in you or it isn't in you. He might not have liked the way I delivered my video about Project 2025, but his association with me was about what's inside of him and not about what's inside of me. And that comes with him. And unfortunately, he brings that to his marriage. And all I can think of is this poor woman who's with this man, and maybe he's got his assholery under wraps so far. Maybe it hasn't leaked out enough for her to see it. But if he can walk around looking at a woman and treating a woman the way he treated me, you better believe he can do that to any woman that he cares about most. Because those kinds of reactions, those kinds of triggers come from relationships that he cared about most when he was younger. That is a coping mechanism for him to have that much vitriol. It's a coping mechanism for him to dehumanize me so much, to say such a horrible thing to me. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to rid himself of that before he gets married to this woman, because it's either in you or it's not. And so I've got these two examples of the most horrific, disgusting, deranged, gross mindsets that exist in this country, just openly putting it on display. Here you go. Let me show you the depths of my assholery. That's what they do. God, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that anybody chooses these men for anything at all, ever, ever. All I can say, folks, is if you recognize a man with that kind of misogyny, run the other direction, okay? Tell all your friends this is a predator and you don't want to be around him. And for goodness sakes, don't vote for him to be president of the United States, okay? Yeah. Well, everyone, love ya.